Welcome to our channel, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Today we delve into 3 disturbing true horror stories that unfolded on a day meant for celebration, the last day of school. Prepare yourself for a journey into the shadows and secrets that lurk in the most unexpected places. The bell is about to ring, marking not the end of the school year, but the beginning of our descent into terror. It was the last day of school, the air thick with the scent of freedom and anticipation. But for one student, Emily, a sense of unease lingered in the air. As the final bell rang, signaling the start of summer, Emily found herself drawn to the old, abandoned classroom at the end of the hallway. It had been sealed shut for years, shrouded in whispers and rumors of strange occurrences. Curiosity compelled her to push open the creaking door, stepping into a realm untouched by time. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that pierced through cracks in the boarded-up windows, illuminating rows of dusty desks and a lone chalkboard. A shiver ran down Emily's spine as a cold breeze swept through the room.
As I ventured deeper into the room, my eyes fell upon a small wooden desk in the corner, seemingly untouched by the passage of time. Drawn to it, I reached out, my fingers tracing the intricate carvings etched into its surface, initials, dates, and cryptic symbols. As my fingertips brushed against a particular symbol, a wave of icy cold washed over me, and the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of dread.
A low, guttural growl echoed through the room, seemingly emanating from the very walls themselves. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she slowly turned, her eyes scanning the shadows that danced in the corners of the room. And then she saw it. A translucent figure, barely perceptible in the dim light, hovering near the chalkboard. It was the ghostly apparition of a young boy, his eyes filled with a haunting sadness. His clothes were tattered and torn, as if from a bygone era, and his pale face bore a look of anguish. Terror gripped Emily's heart as she realized the truth. She was not alone in the abandoned classroom. She was in the presence of something ancient, something malevolent. The ghostly figure turned towards her, its sorrowful eyes locking onto hers. In that instant, Emily felt a surge of empathy for the tormented soul. She sensed his pain, his despair, his longing for peace.
As quickly as it had appeared, the ghostly figure began to fade, its form dissolving into the shadows. But before it vanished completely, I heard a faint whisper, carried on the cold breeze that swept through the room. "Help me," the voice pleaded, its tone filled with a chilling desperation.
Emily's mind raced as she tried to make sense of what she had just witnessed. Who was this ghostly boy, and why did he seek her help? She knew she couldn't just ignore his plea. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily spent the next few days researching the school's history, poring over old yearbooks and speaking to former students. She learned that the abandoned classroom had once belonged to a young boy named Daniel, who had tragically lost his life in a fire that had swept through the school decades earlier. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that Daniel's spirit was still trapped in the abandoned classroom, seeking solace and release. With the help of a few trusted friends, Emily returned to the school one last time. The air crackled with excitement as students celebrated the last day of school, their laughter echoing through the hallways. But amidst the joyous revelry, a sinister undercurrent stirred. Mark, a popular and outgoing senior, had vanished without a trace. One moment he was tossing a football with his friends, the next he had simply disappeared, like a wisp of smoke swallowed by the wind. Panic set in as students and teachers searched frantically for any sign of the missing teenager. The school grounds were combed, lockers were emptied, and every nook and cranny was examined, but Mark was nowhere to be found. As darkness descended, casting an eerie pall over the once vibrant school, Hope began to dwindle. The authorities were called in, their faces grim as they questioned students and staff, desperately searching for any clue that could lead them to Mark's whereabouts. Days turned into sleepless nights, and still there was no sign of the missing student. The once unthinkable had become a horrifying reality. Mark had vanished into thin air. As the investigation continued, a series of unsettling discoveries sent chills down the spines of those involved.
They found my belongings, including my phone, wallet, and backpack, abandoned in the school's library, neatly arranged on a table, as if I had simply stepped away for a moment and never returned. But it was the contents of my phone that sent a chill down the investigators' spines. In the days leading up to my disappearance, I had been sending cryptic text messages to an unknown number, expressing growing fear and paranoia. "They're watching me," one message read. "I think someone's following me," another stated.
The messages were chilling in their ambiguity, hinting at a darkness that had descended upon Mark's life. The unknown number, however, remained frustratingly elusive, leading investigators down a dead end. As the weeks turned into months, the case grew cold, and the mystery of Mark's disappearance remained unsolved. The once vibrant school, now shrouded in an unsettling silence, became a haunting reminder of the student who had vanished without a trace. The final bell of the school year reverberated through the hallways, its sound a symphony of freedom to the ears of eager students. Among them was a close-knit group of friends, Jake, Lisa, Ben and Sarah, their laughter echoing through the now deserted corridors. As they made their way out of the school building, their backpacks slung over their shoulders, a strange sense of unease settled over them. The air seemed thick with an unspoken tension, a palpable shift in the atmosphere. It began subtly, a series of seemingly insignificant events that in hindsight would prove to be harbingers of the chilling events to come. A flock of birds scattered from a nearby tree, their frantic cries piercing the air. A black cat darted across their path, its emerald eyes glowing ominously in the fading light. And then there was the message.
"Beware the bridge," it read, its words stark and chilling.
At first they dismissed it as a prank, a cruel joke played by someone who knew their plans to celebrate their newfound freedom at a secluded spot near the old rickety bridge on the outskirts of town. But as the sun began its descent, casting long, ominous shadows across the landscape, doubt began to creep into their minds. The bridge, a relic of a bygone era, had long been shrouded in local legends and whispers of tragic accidents. It was said to be haunted by the spirits of those who had met their untimely demise within its decaying structure. As they made their way towards their usual hangout spot, their laughter gradually subsided, replaced by an uneasy silence. The air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding, as if the very trees around them were watching their every move. Despite their growing unease, they pressed on, their desire to salvage the last day of school outweighing their growing apprehension. As they approached the bridge, its silhouette looming large against the darkening sky, the air grew noticeably colder. A shiver ran down Lisa's spine as she felt a pair of unseen eyes watching them from the shadows. Suddenly the silence was shattered by the sound of a blood-curdling scream. Their hearts pounding in their chests, they raced towards the source of the scream, their eyes scanning the area frantically. And then they saw it. Ben, his face contorted in terror, lay sprawled on the ground, his body twisted at an unnatural angle. His eyes were wide with fear, his last breath escaping his lips in a ragged gasp. Panic surged through them as they rushed to his side, their minds reeling from the shock of what they had just witnessed. But it was too late. Ben was gone. As darkness enveloped them, they realized the horrifying truth. The message had been a warning, a premonition of the tragedy that awaited them at the bridge. They had ignored the signs, dismissed the message as a prank, and now one of them had paid the ultimate price. S3, Ben! Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling tales. The last day of school, a time for celebration and carefree abandon, can sometimes take a sinister turn, leading us down a path where shadows whisper secrets and reality itself seems to unravel. Share your own horror stories in the comments below, and who knows, they might be featured in our next video. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the shadows.